Me and my business partner made over $530,000 with our creator in the last 3 months of working together, running at literally around 95% profit. Now, before I get into the actual video, I don't want you to be an NGMI. I want you to actually sit down and watch the whole video from start to finish, because you might actually learn something. So have some discipline and watch the whole video. Now, this business model at this current time has got a new name called growth operating. And if you're in the online space, you've probably heard a few people talk about it online. But without trying to brag, Fahad and I have been in the space for over a year, and we truly believe that no one's really got the results that we've got with our creator. And you know, for the past 12 months, we were practically in our own bubble. We made sure that we remained focused and got the results for our client before we went around talking about it online. Now, I'm not going to say who the client is, but I'm pretty sure you can go figure it out if you go follow me on IG. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't put this in the title because I felt like it would have been too much, or like it would have came across as too good to be true. But in the past 12 months of working together, we've made over $1 million with this client. But it's only now that I feel worthy of coming out and talking about this. When you're actually in it, you don't really see it like that. But if you were to zoom out and see what we've done with our creator, the results we've got for him is fucking crazy. In fact, even right now, we're in Las Vegas and we met up with a few people and they were just telling us like, bro, the results you've got for this guy is like out of this world, especially in the time frame that we did it in. And personally speaking, I can wholeheartedly say that this business model has truly changed my life. You know, we've got other clients and stuff who we're working with, but all in all, just last month, Fahad and I personally collected over £70,000, which is around $88,000. And yeah, just before we got into this business model, just like I guess every other entrepreneur, we were trying out a variety of different side hustles. And the most recent one was a TikTok ads agency, where we were reaching out to e-commerce brands and trying to charge them a retainer of around 1.5 thousand a month to run their ads for them. But now that I look back at it, that in itself is kind of flawed, because guys, there's no leverage. How many clients would we have had to close for 1.5k to make $88,000 a month? If you do the maths, that's around nearly 60 clients. And plus, how big of a team would we have needed to fulfill those clients? How much of that 88,000 would have been profit? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that is the reason why I'm making this video, to tell you guys about growth operating and about how quickly it's changed my life and how much of a leveraged business model it is. So if you're not sure about the growth operating space, I'll give you guys a brief explanation, because I posted a few reels on my Instagram and I got a bunch of DMs, you know, asking what it is that we do and how you can go about doing the same thing. Now, a really simple way I explain it to people is using the example of people like Kylie Jenner, who's got a makeup brand, or a rapper like Central C, who's got his own clothing brand. Or even if you're in the space, you know about Iman Gadji. He's got his own courses on SMMA. All these people that I just mentioned are creators, and 90% of their time is focused on creating content, building that following, building that audience. Now, it may sound easy, you know, you just pick up the camera and start making videos, but content creation in itself is a full-time job, and there is a technique to go about building this trust with your audience and building the audience in the first place. Now, as a growth operator, your role is to come in and partner up with these creators to help them make the business on the back end and help them monetize their audience that they've created. A lot of these content creators are obviously really good at creating content, right? And they're really good at gathering attention, getting the views, etc. But what a lot of these aren't clued up on is the business side of things, how they can go about monetizing this audience and obviously making a fuck ton of money. Now, as we can all see, the creator economy is booming at the moment. Everyone, literally your next door neighbor is an influencer. Anyone can really pick up the camera and start making content and blow the next day. And on top of that, the info product, especially in the education space, is getting even bigger as well. There's a low barrier to entry. All you got to do is cook up like a digital product and you can start selling, and the profits are extremely high. Like, let's take Fahad and I for an example. We dropped out of university in 2021, but that doesn't mean we stopped learning. We still went about buying mentorships, buying courses, buying docs and stuff online. These are all info products. These are all digital products in the educational space online. So this space in itself is only going to grow. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that there's an abundance of people in this space. There's an abundance of info products to be created. Now, the biggest problem that a lot of people are suffering in the space right now is going about and finding this creator to partner up with. You know, a lot of people have messaged me and they're telling me about their cold outreach strategy, and they're telling me about how they're going about sending all these looms to a bunch of creators with hundreds of thousands of followers. And right now, as we speak, I'm literally making a doc on how I would go about landing a creator if I was to start as a beginner with no experience, no testimonials, no case studies. And I'm going to make a video on that soon. So as this is my first video, make sure you do subscribe and you will know when I post that video about how to go about landing your first creator. Now, let me tell you how Fahad and I went about finding a creator and landing him. Now, our strategy was pretty basic. I'm not even going to lie. It was literally, we saw the creator doing pretty well on TikTok, but his Instagram only had around 8,000 followers, and all we did was just send him a voice note on Instagram. Now obviously there was a whole framework we had to use to obviously try get him to reply, and what we said in the voice note was really important, but I will be covering these things in the explanation on landing your first creator. Cool, so how we went about finding him is a pretty different approach to what is being preached right now in the space. A lot of people right now, they're outreaching to these content creators and coaches who have got hundreds of thousands of followers. But guys, Farhad and I didn't do that. We outreached to a creator who only had 8,000 followers on Instagram at the time. And this was around December 2022. We saw that he had potential because 1, his TikTok was growing, 2, he was in a really good niche, and 3, we actually saw value ourselves from his advice that he was given at the time. So when we started working with him, we obviously not only helped him monetize, that's cool, but we also helped him on the content side of things as well. In January 2023, when we started working with him, he only had 8,000 followers on Instagram. Fast forward just over a year later, we're in March 2024, he has 3.4 million Instagram followers. We built his YouTube from scratch, his Facebook, his TikTok, his Instagram, a whole omnipresence. We made sure he was everywhere, and we obviously went about monetizing. Now, how we monetized was obviously info products. Like I explained, low barrier to entry, really high profits, and they're pretty easy to cook up and make. But where the actual skill comes in is coming in and marketing it. Now, the info products we created were 2 ebooks. So 1 fat loss ebook, 1 muscle building ebook. And later on, we did a few other things. But then recently we built his private community, his paid private community, which is being preached a lot by these growth operators right now. And we came 6th in the school games, which I'll get into another video. Now from the outside looking in, it looks pretty simple, right? 2 ebooks and 1 paid community. How did he go about making over $1 million in 12 months? A lot of these growth operators right now, they're not talking about what you got to do in the back end. Yes, landing a creator and creating the community or building the info product for them is a step. But what they don't talk about is the funnel side of things, the back end side of things, which is ignored. You know, how do you take a viewer to a follower, then a follower to a buyer of the ebook, to a buyer of the ebook on the email list, to then getting them into the school community? And obviously, if we were to get into high ticket, how would we ascend them from the low ticket to the high ticket? Because in all honesty, we could make much more money than we have made by providing something high ticket, but that's just because the creator wasn't comfortable doing one-to-one or mentoring. Instead, he'd rather serve many, which is completely fine. Now, all of these funnels and back-end stuff is stuff that you'd have to learn if you want to come into the game of growth operating. It's not as simple as it seems. You need to learn copywriting, funnel building, sales, content creation. Plus, when you are partnering up with these creators, you need to understand that you're coming in as a business partner. You know, you need to learn people skills, how to create that relationship with the creator. Plus, when it goes about landing these creators, this is one other thing that I want to clear up. A lot of people are currently reaching out to creators with 100,000 followers. Yeah, cool. But you don't need 100,000 followers to make a lot of money. For example, one of the creators that we're working with right now, he hasn't even got 5,000 followers, but he's got people throwing money at him, begging him to do a one-to-one mentoring. You know, they're literally asking to pay him 3K, 5K, 8K for him to mentor them one-to-one. And he's an Airbnb coach. So he teaches people how to make money using the Airbnb method. And like I said, he hasn't even got 5,000 followers and he hasn't even launched his offer yet. So that in itself just goes to show that you don't need 1 million followers, 100,000 followers to make a lot of money. Instead, you should focus on partnering up with a creator who is in a niche that solves a specific pain point. Because the bigger the problem that creator will solve, the more money they will make. And if you think about it, the top 3 niches where a lot of pain is built up is in health, wealth, and relationships. So if you can find yourself a content creator or a coach who specializes in one of these niches, you're in for a good chance of making a lot of money. It's not rocket science to go about monetizing a creator's audience. Because trust me, if I can do it, a 21-year-old who dropped out of university living in London, anyone can. You know, right now we're in Las Vegas. Farhad and I are in Las Vegas. We've been invited to a private mastermind with Alex Hormozy, someone we've learned a lot from, with Sam Ovens, the owner of School, and with the other top 10 creators who won the school games. So if we can do it, just 2 guys who dropped out of uni from London, anyone can, as long as you put in the work. And by the way, I am going to be vlogging and posting a lot more videos. In fact, the mastermind that's happening tomorrow, I'm going to make sure that I vlog it. So be sure to subscribe to my new channel because more videos and more tutorials and vlogs are going to be posted. And by the way, I'm not looking to sell any course or anything. I'm literally just posting these videos to document my journey and help others along the way. Because if we can do it, like I said, anyone can. So yeah, if you've got any questions for me, feel free to DM me on my Instagram. But obviously make sure you're following me so I can see your message. And yeah, make sure you subscribe and I'll see you on the next video.